Make sure to be a member on the channel, link is in the description. Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. So let's thank our members, Silami, Astropub, Chala, RS, and Diaf, and all the Fishpad members as well. And let's get into it. So make sure to subscribe and join our Discord. So today we're going to check it out a little bit of the EJ Kai. But to be honest, it is not the greatest gameplays ever because I really wanted to have those big maps here. But I mean, I played like 10, 15 matches, I don't remember how many, and they just don't drop because, you know, it's kind of weird. So stuff like this is happening, like the F-14, they're lobbying a lot of phoenixes and stuff. So I'm not gonna even try to fire from far away the missiles, even though, I mean, they are very good at fire away, the M7Fs, and this radar is very good as well. Yeah, it's complicated, you know. Small maps are really complicated sometimes. I mean, I think we are very much in an era that we need more bigger maps. I think DC maps are amazing, to be honest, but that's probably a personal opinion. Many people will agree with me, many people will not. That's why I think we need kind of like 50-50, you know, EC maps and normal maps, because the normal maps are just plain kind of boring, you know, because there is literally no BVR. You just get into a very massive fireball, and then it's just a matter of luck, basically, of having luck and not being shot by somebody that you are not actually seeing. And this is the perfect example. I mean, I just took off and the match is basically over already. And yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's not a very good type of gameplay, to be honest. But I just wanted to show to you guys anyway. Playing with this amazing aircraft that got even better. Obviously, in the last patch, I talked about it a little bit. In the danger zone patch, we had the M7 added to this missile, to this aircraft, and now we have the, you know, the new feature, the tilting radar feature of War Thunder. And yeah, it helps a lot with this radar. Remember, obviously, there are two things that you have to consider, three things actually you have to consider about this aircraft, or maybe even four, to be honest. First, the M9P is not the most amazing missile ever, but after a small little patch, I think it was a week ago, uh, it is basically working a lot better. Just because you actually have a lot more energy with it, because they removed the amount of, you know, the amount of wobbliness that the missile had before. So the missiles are pretty alright now. Better than they were, but all missiles are a little bit better than they were, and I don't know how I missed that, but anyway. Second thing, you have to consider that this is an EJ Kai, or the F-4E, with upgrades to the radar and avionics and stuff, but it is an early E variant, basically. So it still doesn't have the Agile Eagle package, and it doesn't have slats. It's kind of heavy, so it doesn't turn very well, to be honest. And yeah, you have to consider that, because it is very hard to do dogfights with this aircraft. But obviously, we have the last two things that I want to talk about. We have the APG-66 radar. Even though it's a very early version of that radar, it is the radar on the F-16, which means it is very, very good at just ground cluttering, filtering, and not having too much of a blind speed. It is one of the best radars on that. And yeah, even though it is a very early version, so it doesn't have TWS or anything like that, but it's still very, very capable nonetheless. I wish we had the TWS, because it helps a lot on situation awareness, you know, to kind of lock the target without having to actually lock the target until you actually have a firing distance, a very good firing distance. So yeah, it's complicated, you know, but it is one of the best radars in the game. And last thing, obviously, the M7F. being one of the best missiles in the game at longer ranges, especially. Obviously, it doesn't have the what was that missile doing there? Jesus. So it doesn't have the inverse. I think it's called inversed monopulse seeker, which the Sky Flash has, and the R-24 had, and the Aspide had. So it basically means that it is less capable of dealing with stuff like ground clutter and stuff like that. I don't know if this is actually added into our Thunder, but it is a missile that is complicated for that. You know, it's even though it has very long range and it turns very well, it's kind of limited still. It's not a perfect missile. So always remember that. Obviously, once we get stuff like MiG-29s and stuff, I don't doubt that we will see the AIM-7M, to be honest here, which will improve that, having a monopulse seeker together with other improvements, you know. So yeah, it's kind of limited sometimes, but it is very good at longer ranges, especially with this radar. Filters out basically everything, and yeah, it's just a very good thing. I think the problem with it is just that the maps are problematic. I think it's one of the best aircraft in the game, but it has a very weird kind of thing, just like the F-14 has it. They're not the most amazing aircraft at small maps. I think an F-5, for example, and maybe even the MiG-23 and stuff like that, smaller aircraft and stuff like that, they are a little bit better in these small maps, you know. And that's why I think the more we go into the future, the more we have more aircraft that are very capable in the BVR arena. Even though they are very capable in the dogfight arena, we need just the more maps. You know, these gameplays that I'm showing it to you just shows that even though the aircraft can actually be alright, you know, it can dogfight and it can fight everything, and the missiles are very good and stuff like that. It has some weird gameplay, and it is just kind of like out of place sometimes, and it is just kind of boring, you know. These maps, not that you have to just dogfight, not because of that, but it is just too many aircraft in just a tiny little arena, you know, and that comes with two problems. One of them is that obviously it's kind of a luck kind of thing, you know. If you don't, Jesus, that was close. If you kind of not pay attention very quickly, you can die by people that are not spotted or stuff like that. Which is a thing that can happen in EC, or in EC maps, you know what I mean? But it just happens less because you have less aircraft flying around in the same area, you know. So the combats are a little bit more realistic because you are fighting against 2 to 3 aircraft together with 1 or 2, because everybody spreads out in the map, and it's just more calm and more realistic in certain ways, you know. But I'm not saying that we should get rid of the smaller maps. I'm just saying that we need more rotations with the bigger maps, and I think people are just kind of, I mean, they probably have, I don't know, problems with dealing with bigger maps, with patience, to be honest, because if you take a look, a lot of people don't like the bigger maps, but just because you have to fly around a little bit more, and even though you're flying at Mach 1 more plus, you know, and it is just a matter of 1 to 2 minutes, you are, I mean, a little bit more maybe, but you are into the combat zone and you will get kills, you know, very easily and very quickly. So I don't know, it's just a matter of maybe we should get 2 modes, you know, have a normal mode, realistic mode like this, and then have the EC modes just like simulator battles together with the like an event vehicle, event thing, just like we have the simulator battles, you know, something like that. I don't know. It's just something that I would like to see, and I think a lot of people would like to see. Maybe it's a minority, But still, if you have that option on, at least people that like that will be able to play it. Just like simulator, it doesn't have a lot of players playing simulator, but there are players there, and yeah, it's the most fun that you can have in War Thunder. To be honest, it is in battles like that for me personally, and I know a lot of people are like me. So I just think that we need the bigger maps. You know, it's just kind of weird gameplay in these smaller maps, and yeah, that guy just got me. I don't know where he was, but yeah, it's just a thing of personal opinion, and I understand people that obviously don't like those maps, but it is just kind of a weird gameplay. To be honest, an aircraft like this would be one of the best aircraft and the most fun that you can have in War Thunder because of its radar and stuff like that and the weapons that it has. But it's just kind of weird, out of place, you know. And an aircraft like a MiG-23, for example, feels much more um, easier and fun to play in a map like this. An F5, a J7. You will see that most of the people that fly these aircraft will like to play the smaller, more light and nimble aircraft more. And that's just because it's more fun to fly in these smaller maps with that. But take those aircraft to a BVR map, to a AC map, and it's just kind of boring because you don't have BVR and you don't have radar and you don't know where people are. And then suddenly an aircraft like an F4 it is very, very good. And F-14 is amazing in the C maps with the Phoenixes. So yeah, it's just complicated. You know, I think we need a revision on that. And but I know that Gaijin is kind of trying, and a lot of people complain about the game modes and it's boring and stuff. But when they try to change, putting EC maps and stuff like that, people complain too. So it's complicated, right? If you are the game developer, I mean, everybody's complaining about everything all the time. So even I am complaining right now. So I know that it's kind of complicated that. But anyway, yeah, it is a very kind of short video, just talking a little bit about the radar and how does it affect the EJ Kai and the maps. As I said, this aircraft, there's not much to talk about. It's an amazing aircraft, especially in BVR. In dogfight, it's a little bit less, you know. The radar tilt helps like a lot now to situational awareness, and I cannot wait until we see more radars like this and more 4th gen stuff coming soon. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.